Tune in for another episode, Bank That Radio Show titled Music and Business. And today on the business side, we're talking with Miss Tina Marie, or y'all might know her as the author, Tina Marie Hunt. 3 books, first of all, that's a lot. Released 3 books in the same year. Now we're gonna get into it, and I got another comment about that as well. But Tina, thank you for coming onto the platform.
So thank you.
We didn't do a video, an interview or anything before, have we? Isn't this the first video? I mean, not video. Look at that. See, I was sitting there talking about videos and stuff. Now I'm talking about this. This is the first interview, isn't it?
This is the first interview outside of what you've done for us.
Yeah, with the podcast episodes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are y'all ever gonna start that back up or?
I want to start my own podcast up. I want to
Okay.
redefine it, and I'm going to call it Black Plus Brilliant, the audacity to
Okay. Before you start that up, we gotta have a conversation because I want to put you on some game with all that. Like you can start making money from your after your 10th download.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, because well, first of all, statistics, just put them out there. People don't know there's over 6 million podcasts, and only 10% are actually active, meaning that they survived and went past their first 10 episodes. And that's
Wow.
across all genres. So you're talking
Wow.
about narrating, interview style, relationships, cooking, whatever you can think of as something where people make a podcast about. It falls within that 10% spectrum. So people think it's oversaturated, and it's not. It's not even. It ain't even hit the point yet. Reason being is
I,
because people don't realize how much.
I believe that.
Yeah, because people don't realize how much. Well, yeah, they believe that it's oversaturated because they see so many of them out there. But what they're not, they're looking at the creation numbers and not the active numbers. And the active number is what what I'm saying, for the industry. So 90% of them are not even active. That's because they don't realize how much work it is.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, because you're building a platform,
Hmm.
just like being an author. It's all a business. You're a
You're
business.
right.
You're a business now. Do you recognize that you're a business by being an author?
I guess I didn't think of it that way, but I guess you're right. Yeah.
All right, so I've interviewed, I don't know, let's say I can't even remember, about 10 authors now, right? And I've
Okay.
also interviewed what they call them, they're sort of like brokers. They're publishing agencies.
Public
And what, huh?
publicist.
No, not the publicist. When you say publicist, I'm thinking of a PR person for like music and stuff. I'm talking about
Oh,
the actual publishing house company,
editors.
not the editors. They actually broker, like they help broker publishing deals.
Oh, let me
So
listen.
yeah, well, this is where I want to talk about this because it correlates. So I was talking to this guy. I was back in, I think I want to say 2023 or maybe 2024. I gotta go find the interview, and I have to send you a link to it. But he was telling me about the numbers when it comes to people writing and stuff.
It's
Hmm.
very easy to upload your own book to Amazon KDP, which is Kindle
Hmm.
Direct Publishing, and now it's available for print on demand all over the world. So
Hmm.
getting somebody to actually pay attention to your book is far more difficult today than it was a few years ago.
Hmm.
So the average author sells 100 books in their lifetime. Now I have a pretty big audience, a couple
Hmm.
100,000 followers. My goal was originally to get the book out in June and then
Hmm.
give myself 6 months to sell 10,000 copies.
So did you know that you actually are in the top 1% of authors who publish?
What?
Yeah, because he says only 1% of authors who actually write, only 1% of them actually publish.
I can honor that.
Hmm.
I dig
There's a
that.
lot of books that are written that are not published.
I dig that. I do. Wow.
And then guess what? He get like we were talking about this. It was fascinating because it's business to me. He
Hmm.
said that over a lifetime, right?
Hmm.
Authors only who self-publish or maybe they link up with a publisher, but they're using it more of like a distribution platform. And we'll get into yours as well. They only sell 100 books over their lifetime. Yeah, there's a lot of them that fit in that category.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like 100. I was like, man, shoot, if I published a book and yeah, I hit that 100, I hit past that. But
Wow.
again, it's about the creative aspect of it for the author most times. You know what I'm saying? Because you have those people who fall in the realms of, and I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You're like me. But most people fall in the realms of the creative space of creating something, right? And that's what they're great at.
Right.
They don't know how to execute on the business side or like, really get it to where, people are seeing the value in what they're doing. So they have a
Mhm.
hard time with that and they struggle. I
I agree.
believe you can do both sides.
I think you can. And
Hmm.
it also depends on your bandwidth too.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, a lot of creative people who are left-brained or right, whichever side of the hemisphere of the brain it is, they stick on that side, and then the logic side of the opposite side. You don't have that many who can bounce between both,
I
being
agree.
creative and seeing the logic as far as like business and stuff. But
So
we,
creative is the right side and the logic rests in the left.
okay, so yes, but there's not a lot of people who can, exercise both parts like that. So,
I I agree.
so the ones that saying they could like a tennis ball go back and forth between both sides, those are the special people. That's us.
Yeah, I
Oh.
guess. Yeah, I'm
See,
special.
special is not a bad thing here.
You
Special.
know, because I wonder about me, because I do the most.
I don't say you do the most. I just say that what I'm saying, you're ambitious, right? You like to
Yeah,
get things done. You have a vision for something you like to execute.
I do.
And sometimes, everybody is not on par with all that or whatever because maybe they can't pull it off to the magnitude of what they want to, or they just don't want to admit that that's where their weakness is.
That's so true.
Yeah. So, but I want to get into one based off of your background and what I do know. What would lead you down this road of becoming an author?
Um, so when I saw this question, I was like, what kind of question is this?
I have lots of fun questions.
What? So, I'm just honestly, nothing really inspired me to become an author.
Hmm.
I just needed to tell my story. And I felt like that was the only way to really tell my story, writing it down,
Hmm.
um, help people to understand what I really did go through.
Hmm.
I can sit and talk to you for minutes or hours or conversational, and I still won't get a chance to tell you the story the way it actually happened.
Hmm.
And a lot of people used to say to me, you need to write a book. And that was
Hmm.
cool. And I even tried it. I
Hmm.
tried it for years, maybe like 8 years,
Hmm.
but I had to realize that it wasn't for them. My story inspired it. The
Hmm.
encouragement was there, but the truth is the book was for my healing.
Mm. So why publish it then? Because again, you could have just kept it to yourself and you would have got what you were looking for, which was the healing.
Absolutely could have done that, but I published it because maybe someone else has a similar story or some similar things that has happened to them in the way that it happened to me or similar,
Hmm.
because now I only not only did I have religious organization or cult experience, I also am a trauma survivor,
Hmm.
domestic violence, all of those things. So
Hmm.
um, there are things in that book that could relate to everyone,
Hmm.
man, woman, boy, or girl. So
Now
that's
we're talking about your memoir, the Rush and Roulette,
yes,
which is 391 pages.
yes.
Now, you
That's
writing
my
Harry
slipping.
Potter series, Harry Potter series over here. I love it though. You've had so much experience and so much to put out there that it had to amass to that, which is fantastic in the way that, what I'm saying, it shows the story. And just from like a content creation standpoint, oh my goodness, that would be a whole lot of content that could just be created just based off the story alone.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm like, I know people who've written books to where, they've been turned into movies and stuff. And I'm like, shh, that's like, what I'm saying? That's a couple of movies.
It would be, and people are like, "Well, I wish Curtis Jackson get a hold of this or Lila Waithe or something, and it become a series." I'm like, I wish too.
Hmm. You never know though. Put it out there in the universe, laws of attraction, huh?
Right.
So was that the first one you started writing? Because again, like I just mentioned earlier, you put out 3 books in 1 year and 2 of them on the same day. So and then by no stretch of the imagination are these books like 30, 40, 50 pages. A novel to the black man, The Ink of Creation is 155 pages.
Mhm.
And then the is that the Go Glow?
Yes.
113 pages. That's still a lot.
I wrote Rush and Roulette first.
How long did it take to write that?
I am embarrassed to say that it took me 10 weeks.
Why is that an embarrassment? You sound like you just locked in.
I did. I
Like
did.
you
I
was writing
really,
every day, like what, 6, 7 hours a day or 4 hours a day, something like that?
it just depended on how the day went, because there were times that I could not write because of some of the things that I had to revisit
Hmm.
took a lot out of me, and I completely had to deal with that and process through those emotions.
Hmm.
Um but I would write when I had spare time.
Hmm.
I didn't talk on the phone. I didn't watch TV. I mean, if I woke up in the middle of the night, I was writing. I
Hmm.
mean, talking into my voice notes, remembering things, recalling all of that. So
Hmm.
I didn't stop. I just kept going.
Hmm. It sounds like back when I used to be an active recording artist, way back when, about 10 plus years ago. Which by the way, people can still go and stream my music if you figure out my recording name.
Dang, I'm
But
gonna
anyway, you said what?
I'm gonna do it. Don't challenge me.
It's not hard to find. I'm like Di said, it's not hard to find. But I remember recording 2 projects at the same time.
Mhm.
So I understand where you enter this space of creativity and you just got to get out because it keeps knacking at you. Like you literally cannot sleep because you will wake up. And I had this experience actually recently where when I was redoing the podcast and trying to figure out like which distribution platform that I want to switch to, I want to go ahead and get it to the point to where, I'm in a new area, I want to build up. And as I build, I want to learn from what I did when I was in Macon and execute that even faster to where I can build this platform and then, I can have all this different, money coming in. Money isn't the focal point, but I don't want any of my energy and efforts to go to waste either.
Right.
So I woke up with all these different ideas and just kept on researching and researching and just coming up with different stuff. And my brain would not turn off until I executed all this stuff. And like over the last couple of weeks, I've done at least about 12 interviews and I've
Mhm.
been, gradually putting them out. And then I have more. Got what's today? Thursday. I got 2 tomorrow. I have one
Wow.
scheduled already on, and I stopped doing them on the weekend, just so I could have some sanity and also enjoy the weekend. But then I got one lined up, I think, for Monday, and another one already scheduled for next week as well. And then I got a few more that are interested. So just, I'll keep going this thing out. But I do understand that process. Uh, do you feel like at this particular point you was able to get out all that creativity?
I still have it going.
So you're still working on stuff now, even
I
though
have so many things that I'm working on. So many
so now you just basically gotta what do they say? Like you only live life once and stuff like that. So you might as well just do what makes you happy.
I agree, because when I wrote Rush and Roulette,
Hmm.
probably about 3 weeks before I published that book, I started writing Go Glow, because something in me was like, wait a minute, now you're getting ready to go through a glow. Like
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
cracked open, and I got to take you through this process. But I want you to
Hmm.
tell somebody else so they know how
Yeah.
to do it. And then during the Go Glow, it was like, well, maybe may want something too. So
Hmm.
a lot of a lot of our culture come to me to talk. I work in HR for as a professional,
Hmm.
and I used to be a pastor's wife, and that
Hmm.
put me front and center for people to just confide in me.
Hmm.
Well, I know a lot, And
Hmm.
my big brother, he's, my best friend, he's a guy.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm like, dang, nobody ever stops to encourage the Black man.
Not really. I think we've forgotten about species up here.
So I wanted that to be my love letter to the Black man.
That's what I said. So how would you like title that then as far as what category would they put that under?
Self-help, healing.
Okay.
Um, mhm,
And then the Go Glow as well? Or
yes.
now the Russian Roulette, I understand what a memoir is, but I want everybody else to understand as well. So it's a memoir and it's autobiographical. Did I say that right?
I think so.
uh, but it's more about a piece in time in your life as opposed to going into the chronological order, correct?
Yes, it is definitely written non-linear. I didn't I went in chronological, but I didn't
Hmm.
because sometimes stories can't be told in the fullness chronologically because everything doesn't always unfold right away.
Exactly. I love that you said that. Um, what was your expectations for these books? Like as you're writing them and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna publish them. Did you have any expectations for
Honestly, there has been no expectations for me. Other people have expectations,
them? Hmm.
but my expectation was just to use my voice. I
Okay.
found my voice again. I had been silenced for a long time. I
Hmm.
found my voice and I realized that my voice is powerful. So
Hmm.
why not keep going?
Okay. So as you're going through this process, how did your network of people accept the idea that okay, I'm about to write these books? Because we like to share our ideas and stuff like that. That everybody was like, no.
I didn't know. Actually, I didn't tell a whole lot of people when I began. I
Hmm.
told, let me see, how many people did I tell? Mm, Keisha, maybe two or three people who I really, really trusted.
Hmm. Were
Um,
they encouraging or how was that
Very
process
much
for you?
so. Like one person I told last year, I wish I had never told him, but I told
Dang.
and I thought he forgot all about it. And one day out of nowhere, he was just like, when are you gonna write your book? And I was like, what?
Hmm.
And it just went out of sight, out of mind. And a couple of months later, something transpired and it
Hmm.
just cracked the memory open in me. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna write that down. And then
Hmm.
from that point on, I just couldn't stop.
So why didn't you like the fact that you told that person then?
I'm sorry.
Why didn't you like the fact that you told that person?
Because he remembered and I didn't expect him to.
So you didn't want to be held accountable?
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Not for
Well,
that, because I didn't know if I was ready. Andreas, honestly, I've been
hmm.
trying to write that book for 8 years.
Hmm.
And every time I could never get past chapter one or two.
It
Those were the
wasn't it
hardest.
wasn't time for you though.
I get it. I get it now.
You see, like, okay, so let's go here then. You put the book out, and from my understanding, well, I don't know which ones the people were reacting to. I just saw them reacting. So you tell me which one were they reacting to?
Rush and Roulette.
Okay. So you put this book out, and I see all these positive comments with it. You were supposed to like, touch people.
Yeah,
And had you not stuck to that, because it's easy to get, I tell people all the time, one of the easiest things to do is to quit.
I agree.
Quitting is so easy. But look what you did. You stuck with the idea, even though you couldn't get past, chapter one or chapter two. You still allowed the idea to just sit there and ferment and grow and eventually blossom once it got what it needed as far as the idea to be watered and nurtured and all that stuff, whatever. Even like the accountability, all that stuff. I mean, had you not done that, you don't know what what I'm saying. Those people would have not experienced and how you're supposed to change lives when you put your stories out there.
I agree. I agree.
and it turns people like, maybe they're going left, but they need to turn right, or maybe they're going right and they need to turn left. And it's 3 year words of inspiration.
Yeah. And I didn't mean it in a bad way that I was upset with him because he reminded me. It
Mm-hmm.
was just I didn't expect him to. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't have that expectation. The
Yeah, no,
whole thing.
I get that. I get that. But it's good to be, what I'm saying, that people hold you accountable, though.
It is. I appreciate him now.
Hmm.
I really do.
So, what has been the most gratifying thing that you've experienced so far in releasing this to the public?
Um, the most gratifying thing for me has been the reach and knowing that people actually read it
Hmm.
and can relate to it
Hmm.
and can take something away from it for themselves.
I get that. Have you met anyone else who have like had similar experiences, like like you said, being in a cult or anything to that magnitude?
Not directly, no.
At what point did you realize you was in a cult?
Right before I got a divorce.
Okay, I get that. What helped shed light on that for you? Because sometimes it might
So
take, other people to say things or
and it did.
strangers.
It did. It did. It was years of just people here and there saying things.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe about 8 years of people constantly, not necessarily constantly, just here and there. And I think 2015 was the
Hmm.
year that I really started to pay attention to a lot of things.
Hmm.
And my sister and I talked about some things because we were both in there together. We talked
Hmm.
about some things that, we were experiencing and we didn't understand, and we
Hmm.
vowed to leave together. Um, but we didn't leave until 2016.
Hmm.
Um, People at my job would tell me, hey, that's a cult, or um people, musicians, friends would say, oh, that's a cult, and I'm like, no, it's not. I can prove this, prove that. But
Hmm.
eventually I started to do my own research
Hmm.
and like, is this something that I see myself doing for the rest of my life? Like, or is this what God actually intended for me?
Hmm.
Is to be under the control of someone else, someone who doesn't want me to better myself, or they
Hmm.
just have children for the rest of my life. And nothing wrong with that, but that was the expectation of the ministry.
Yeah.
Because I birthed 12 kids.
Yeah, say I don't know if you want to touch on that and all that, but you know.
Well, it's look.
Okay, so as because it's your memoir and these are
Yeah,
your truth.
yeah.
So your quote unquote characters, how do they feel about, what I'm saying, your truth and your perspective and it being out there?
My characters, only three of them have said anything. I don't know how the rest of them feel. And
Hmm.
honestly, maybe a year or two ago, I told them, I said, hey, I'm gonna write a book one day. I'm just letting y'all know. And they were like, well, I don't care if you say whatever you got to say. And I said, I'm gonna put your name in it.
Hmm.
And a couple of those characters have their real name and they know
Hmm.
who.
Yeah,
So,
I get that.
mhm.
Um, I didn't know that you were, let me get this right, the ninth of 10.
Yeah.
That had to
Actually,
be,
the 10th of the 11th, because I was
what?
told after I wrote the book that my mom had a miscarriage right before me.
Oh, wow. What, let's see, my girl calls that a rainbow
Right.
baby? Rainbow
Yeah.
child, yes. I just learned about that term recently. I didn't know what
Yeah.
that meant. So I had to like, what does that mean? They're like, oh, it's the child that comes after the miscarriage. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I guess technically I might have some there. I gotta think about that. Yeah, so when I read that, I was like, you know what? The first thought I thought in my head, I thought about Wilma Rudolph and how she came from a big family, but way more than 10 though. But then you also having 12, and I'm like, I wonder if that played a role in that. So let everybody know, how is it being a mother of 12? I mean, you have a dozen.
How is it being a mother of 12?
Yeah.
It used to be full of anxiety.
Mm, I get that.
But as I accepted my path, as
Hmm.
I lived my life and
Hmm.
um stopped grasping for breath,
Hmm.
I learned that my kids are pretty cool. And being mothering them now is a joy.
Hmm.
I mean, I wish I could go back and do better for those days. I would go in my room and close the door and go to sleep, and they be jumping off the couch, cooking,
I'm
whatever.
like, hindsight is 2020 though. I'm like, we can't do that. Like, because we're learning as, you know what I'm saying, me, you know what I'm saying, being a father of eight, we're learning. And,
Exactly. So
it
I
just
had to
is what it
reparent.
is.
I had to reparent me so that I can learn how to parent them.
I definitely get that. How old is the youngest now?
She's 11.
Okay. And then the oldest.
She'll be 25 this month.
Okay, that's what's up. So you got a whole good range of mixtures and stuff there. Still going to like graduations and things of that nature,
Yeah.
and them still, learning the world. And I think, the more kids we have, the better it makes us anyway, because the first few are a couple, we're learning our lessons as parents, and we get to be better parents to the younger ones. That's why I say anyway. My first set, my second set, they had different experiences. You know, I'm a man enough to admit that. Not saying I was bad, but I could have done some things differently. But at the same time, I was still a young parent and learning.
Right.
And we all do that. What writing like all these pieces of work, what has been like the most I guess what's the one thing that like stands out to you? What have you learned as an author?
Oh my gosh. Um, hmm. I learned that I don't know if I learned a lesson from writing.
Hmm.
I think the lesson was already there.
Hmm.
Writing helped me to understand it, organize it, and face it. And if anything,
Hmm.
writing opened the portals to my purpose,
So what is your purpose?
to use my voice.
Okay, so now you build a platform to use your voice.
Yes, whatever that is, my frameworks, my books, my authorship, my partnership that I'm working with someone else right now,
Hmm.
all that belongs to my purpose.
I like that. Um, does that scare you in any way? As far as like,
Yes.
okay, which is
Yes.
a good scare though.
It is a good scary.
Okay, it's not the bad scare; it's the good scary. I think Jeezy said this quote one time where if your dreams or your goals don't scare you, then your goals aren't big enough.
And man, I swear one morning I woke up and was like, what actually am I doing?
I love it.
Realize because I feel like I'm getting ready to make magic, right? We're getting ready
Uh-huh.
to some magic happen,
Hmm.
especially in our I can't talk about it right now, but I can't
Hmm.
wait to tell you.
Yeah.
Um and one morning I woke up and it was just like, do you really know what you're about to start? And I was
Hmm.
like, I really don't. And then when I thought about it, I was like, yo, you did. So I'll tell you this much. I
Hmm.
built a cartoon using AI, and I generated over 1,000 clips, but I put together 282 8-second clips to form an entire story arc.
Mm.
One of the first type, kind of its kind, and I can't wait to share it, to share more
Hmm.
details about it.
Yeah. I'm like that dope though. I just love the fact that you're being creative and you're tapping
Yes.
into that because I knew that when shooting podcasts and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, she's creative. I could just tell because she has all this talent inside of her, and it just takes you, you know what I'm saying, doing one thing to the next thing to the next thing to where people will see all the different creative things put together and form projects, whether it be books, cartoons, whatever the case may be, and get to
Yeah.
see that aspect of you. So pushing all these books, like how do you promote your books and put them out there and let people know about them?
Right now, I'm really not heavily promoting them because I've been kind of engorged in my frameworks and what I have going on because in the middle of me building that collaboration, I'm also building a leadership framework for professionals. So
Mm,
I want to get this all out of my head. I just got to. So I'm looking into hiring a group of promoters to assist me with that because I don't have the bandwidth.
now I get it. You talk.
Yeah.
Oh, because like I said, like I was talking to a few authors one time where I got these books and I was reading them, and there was someone who wrote a book just as big as yours, somewhere
Mhm.
around there. And when I was reading her story, I was like, man, this would be great content for skits. She's like, what do
Wow.
you mean? I was like, no, you have to look at it like differently, how people interpret stuff. And
Right.
when you find someone who could take something that you have and like repurpose it, just let it, take the life of its own. So I think that's a tool that authors should, utilize and find people, who can do stuff like that. Because I do that with songs right now. Um, have I done it with anyone's books? I don't think I've done it with anyone's books per se, but I've read stories where, you can easily do that and like pull off that type of material. And it's great because it's original in the fact that, it's something different, but it also swings back to the book and letting
Yeah.
people like, you know what, I'm gonna go check that out and stuff like that. Because if they can pull stuff off like that, because to me, books are nothing but like manuscripts for movies and stuff. You just got to
Right.
look at them a little differently.
I agree.
So, it could be in the play. Do you plan on like being a full-time creative, like, in the near future or
I want to get to that point and I would like to be near, but I'm patient with it coming.
Mhm,
But I would that's really my purpose. And I know that I can't eventually won't be able to work a full-time job and walk in my purpose because my purpose is going to be my job.
mhm,
And I'll tell you what my framework is. And I call it Lisa Mind, and it stands for legacy, intelligence, and something else. Right now, I can't think about it. I'll tell you in a
okay.
minute.
Yeah.
But Lisa Mind is a personality assessment
Hmm.
for our culture because we got this, you got right path, you got Bloom's taxonomy, you have all these things. And me working in L&D for the last 16 years, I've came across a lot of personalities. And
Hmm.
because I have facilitation, analyzation
Hmm.
certifications, I know right path 4 and 6. I know DISC. I understand how it works. Let me build my own
Hmm.
and let me give it to our people and let
Hmm.
me show them who they are
Hmm.
like I know who I am. Because yeah, those tests will give you a brief synopsis of what you are, but it doesn't get to the root. It doesn't tell you how to navigate through life using yourself, how to lead with soul, using your own personality type, how not to
Hmm.
be like anyone else. So I'm implementing that along with a book that I've written to go along with it called The Soft Leader,
Okay.
also leading by design. But I'm getting ready to patent up the Lisa Mind Learning Institute. You have Dale Carnegie School of Learning, you have John Maxwell Learning Institute. Well, I'm going to pilot the Lisa Mind Learning Institute.
That's what's up. No, we need stuff that's catered to us though, because I don't think we live in a world dominated by, decision makings that, especially when it comes to like culture
I agree.
and our culture being monetized so much. We've been setting trends since the 40s and 50s.
I
We
agree.
continuously do so, but yet we're not big partakers in those industries where that revenue comes through. So we need organizations like that that are like basically FUBU like for us by us, to
Yes.
where we have someone that can talk to us and we get it. We understand the lingo, we understand the nuances, we understand the micro expressions, all of these
Yes,
things that are very important, you know, and how we make decisions and how do we process information and make decisions as a community because it's not the same.
it's not. It's really not.
So
I agree with you.
all those things are important to be talked about. So yes, take the, you know, leadership, you know, doing that and be the trailblazer for it. So I'm here for it. And I want to see you walking that purpose in the bright light that you are. Because, you know, that's what I saw.
You.
Um, and I love nurturing people's dreams. Because I think a lot of times when people talk about their dreams and ambitions, and when other people don't understand them, they try to dismiss them and cast them to the side. When I'm like, no, you can't do that. One, I tell anybody, go for it, even if it sounds wacky or whatever, because you never know what's going to happen.
I
Until you
agree.
put it out there into the marketplace, you don't know. And then even if it doesn't hit the goal that you wanted it to hit, it's just a goal. It doesn't mean that you failed. I
I
think
agree.
failure is, you know, not trying at all.
I
And
agree. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
exactly. So why not go out there, you know, and see what happens? Because that'll inspire like you know what I'm saying? The wheelhouses will turn and then you start producing all this stuff and then you'll look up
You
10,
just
20
can't
years from
stop.
now. Exactly. You have all this catalog of stuff that you've done.
But I will tell you what Lisa stands for. It's legacy, insight, structure, alignment. So legacy is honoring ancestral wisdom, cultural memory, and
Hmm.
emotional labor, especially from our community, which is behind the why the system, behind the system. It's the root of the system, right?
Hmm.
The insight, the ability to see yourself clearly through patterns, soul intelligence, emotional honesty, self-awareness. This is your mirror, your awakening. Structure, creating systems, tools, and rituals that sustain growth, peace, power, and purpose. And this is your architecture. And then aligning yourself with it, living, loving, leading in ways that match your truth, your timing, and your soul.
That's what's up. I love it. Can't wait to see this, you know what I'm saying, the finished product
I
and
can
being put out
send
there.
you. Look, you can be a prototype. If you'd like to take the personality test, I can send you a link.
Yeah, send me the link. I'll take the personality test.
Okay.
I
Good
love
fit.
doing stuff like that.
Okay.
It reminds me when I was in at Fort Valley, I used to go to the Career Development Center and
Hmm.
take a test as far as like, you know, what you like and things of that nature. And I used to tell other students about it. I was like, how do y'all not know about this? And it was an underutilized program that was in, I think it was the Peabody, not the Peabody building, what was it, Pettigrew building? I can't remember, but it's one of the buildings on campus.
Hmm.
And I was like, why isn't stuff like this pushed all the time? Because you have a lot of kids who will go to college, one, because their parents want them to, and they're not really going because they want to go. So then you get
Hmm.
there, well, what are you going to major in or what do you like to do? And they're confused. So why
Hmm.
not go and take these tests to show you all the areas where you have a high interest in, and they gave you interest one, two, and three.
Hmm.
So you might, you know what I'm saying, find that you like agriculture and archaeology or whatever
Right.
and never knew it. And I'm like, these type of tests, all the time, excuse me, are needed to help with directing and guidance instead of just
I
running people through a meal.
I agree. And I wouldn't be a practitioner if I didn't try to guess your profile. So there are 10 archetypes. And out of the 10 archetypes, I think you have the mirror, which is a reflective relation. You're reflective, relationally aware, and you hold space. I
Okay.
think you have the flame. You're passionate, activating, emotionally, and magnetic. And I
Hmm.
also think you have the sensor, which you sense energy and pattern reading, and you have some architect in you too, because you're strategic and you're structured and precision driven. There might be some guardian and current in there somewhere, but
Hmm.
we're gonna see.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I would love to see these results. But now I'm like that sounds like me though. In so different many aspects. Even with like entrepreneurship. And I've been recently doing interviews with people that I've done interviews with about 3, 4 years ago, and they're telling me you really inspired me. And I'm like, I didn't realize the magnitude of what I was doing at the time.
Wow.
I just felt it in my calling to build something to bring recognition to folks that necessarily wouldn't get the recognition on bigger platforms, and for people to that to be a Kickstarter for them, because no one really does that for folks. Like I always feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to pass the baton. It's your duty and responsibility to pass the baton to someone else and to bring them along for the ride.
I agree.
Not to like gatekeep a whole lot of stuff, not to be like, you know, I'll build this or whatever. It's like I do collaborations for other podcasts. I've been on other podcasts and I bring them on mine and we do like interview swapping and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's
Mhm.
never about, oh no, I just want people to see me. No, it's never been about that. It's always about putting other people on because this information needs to be told. And like I realized through podcasting, everyone has a story.
Absolutely.
And everyone does not get the opportunity to tell those stories. So I am always actively reaching out. Um, but I do have a fantastic question though for you.
Sure.
I've been doing this, it's a little different. So since you're an author now, right? And
Hmm.
I imagine that you read other people's work. Who would be two authors from the Middle Georgia area that you would like to highlight? I can't hear you.
I'm whispering Middle Georgia area.
Okay, well, you know, just let's say the state of Georgia then.
State of Georgia.
You don't have no
Okay.
local book clubs down there that you talking to people with. What is
To
up
be
with Middle Georgia? I feel like I'd have left the
honest,
area and
I'm
just
to be
go downhill.
honest, I don't even read. Well, I listen to them.
I just write them. I don't read them. I write them.
I listen to them. And
Audio. Okay.
I don't really know a Middle Georgia author,
Hmm.
but um, I know two people that I inspired their writing, and they became an author.
Okay.
And
Well, who are
I'll
those two
shout them
people?
out. Toria Demps is from my hometown, but she now lives in another state. And Brandy Dixon is my classmate from high school, and she now lives in another state. So
And they both started writing.
yes, well, Brandy been has been writing, but she told me that I encouraged her to pick up the pen again. So
That's what's up. So I'm gonna need their social media handles and stuff so I can reach out to them so I can get their story.
okay. I'll get you. But that's
Uh,
putting them on. Yes, reach out to them.
that's what's up. I love it. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to talk about?
Um, I don't know. Not unless you have any more questions about Rush and Roulette or the novel or any of the other things that we talked about.
One, I will encourage people to go and purchase these books. Reading the samples that I've read, I was like, okay, yeah, I could see where, especially with the Russian roulette, the way you started it off, talking about childhood, the creaking floors, the what did you say? It was green and white with the house.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. Um, and then I was reading the Black Man, uh, a novel to the Black Man. Started that one. I didn't get into the glow a lot, but I'm like, you have a lot of work here. Someone has to digest. Which, like I said, it is amazing that you've been able to just write all of this in a short amount of time.
I
Um,
know. That's not all that I wrote in that time. I mean,
oh my
I
goodness.
just haven't published it.
I feel like you got like 10 albums or something all at one time.
I did. No joke. No joke. And get this, I designed all of my book covers.
Oh wow, that's fantastic. That Russian roulette, that is really spot on.
If you look inside, well, I think I put Martina Hunt in that one. But
Hmm.
in my other books, my pen name is BBE Hunt. That's my nickname that my dad.
Yeah,
So
that's how I wrote down the note. I forgot all about that. So you be pinning yourself as BB now?
BBE Hunt is my pen name for my creative works, like for art and things like that,
Hmm.
covers, digital graphics, any of those
Hmm.
things, I'll use BBE Hunt. And for writing is Tina Marie.
Okay.
Because I'm pulling in my inner child when I write, well, when I draw and
Yeah,
when I build things like that, because I have a huge imagination.
yeah.
So I'm calling her and I'm like, girl, let's do it.
That's what's up. I've talked to other authors who go under pen or pseudonyms because of the type of material that they write. Oh, I did want to ask you about, okay, so I forgot all about this. I like the business side of this as well. You're self-publishing, or what is Greenhouse?
Greenhouse is it's Soul House. It's me.
Oh, so you're your own self-publisher.
I am.
How do you like doing that? Or are you going to expand that? Because I know a girl in Warner Robins who runs a publishing entity.
I
Um,
didn't know. I mean, it was just I learned how to self-publish it,
mhm,
and I was just like, I'm gonna do this. So that's exactly what I did. Amazon has a platform called KDP
mhm,
where you can upload your writing and it launches straight to Amazon worldwide.
mhm,
Um, and then Egram Spark also has the same abilities where you just pay the $49 registration fee for each. I think I don't know if it's for each one or not, but then that's how your books get to stores like Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Millions, Targets. They distribute your books all over the world. So
mhm.
I'm working on Egram Spark right now because I gotta upload everything. I've just been lazy with uploading it, but once I do, then my books will be in stores.
This question I'm thinking of, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, when you be on Facebook and stuff, but have you seen that there's like a new competitor? Because I saw this one video where they say like, some of the distribution platforms take out too much of money from the authors. And this particular platform, I'm sure since I'm talking about it, my phone will be listening and then I'll see it on Facebook again. But
Gotta tell.
apparently, yeah, I gotta find it. But as soon as I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. Apparently, this particular platform doesn't take as much, and you get more of the lion's share of your work. And
Mhm.
it's still like print on demand type as
Oh,
well.
wow.
So,
I like that. Yes, please
yeah,
share.
yeah, I might have to find it because I might have even saved it as a bookmark or something like that. But I'll have to go through and look for it and see if I can find it. But that's the thing too. So being an author is one thing, but then also self-publishing, that's a whole nother business model. So do you think you'll ever get to the point to where you publish other people up under your business?
I would love to.
Okay.
And I didn't even think about it that way. My cousin is trying to publish a book right now, and I could possibly ask her, girl, do you want me to publish that on the Soul House?
See, that's the thing though, because like I said, writing the book is one thing, publishing it and putting it in to where people can find it and then being able to promote it, that's a whole nother business model. I'm like, you're talking about distribution and sales with that and logistics. And a
Wow.
lot of people, again, like we were saying earlier in the conversation, they're good at being the creative. They're not good at the execution. So some people need help with that. And I think we need more Black publishing entities. Like Charlemagne, he has a publishing entity where he, started getting into the publishing game. I don't know if people know it, but first of all, that dude's a media mogul.
Right.
People don't even realize how many tentacles his fingers, in all these different businesses. But he has a publishing entity as well. And
Wow.
I think he started once he did his first bestseller or his second one, he started the publishing entity, and that's how he's able to help people get book deals and stuff like that, and then also get them published. Just like how the Black Effect, that's his podcast platform partnered with iHeart Media, but he controls it, and that's how all those Black podcasts are being put out there, and people are learning about them through the major platforms, through the what I'm saying, that network. So I'm like, it's
Wow.
something I'm trying to consider.
That sounds like a good setup. I'm gonna look into that, for sure, because that could be a huge umbrella. Because
Hmm.
I have two names for my publishing house. I have Glow House Press and then I have Soulworks Press.
Hmm.
And then they're under the same umbrella, but it depends on what type of book you're writing as to where the book will go under,
Hmm.
what it will go under. But I would love that.
Yeah. So then that also, another form of stream of revenue and plus, what I'm saying, makes it bigger. And like I said, you've done it. So there's some people who just can't even get through the process. And like again, there's a lot of people who just like recording art, they just want to record. They don't want to have to market and promote and distribute and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the
There's a lot
hard
of
part.
authors who don't want to have to be their own publisher. And they
I
just
agree because
need
it can
someone.
get condescending, like not
Hmm.
condescending, but it can be a lot of work.
Hmm.
Um, Especially when the formatting tools act up on you. You have to understand the dimensions and
Hmm.
it's some things that go into that. You gotta know where to put your IBS in. Some people are like, "What is that? And where does it go?" But
Hmm.
your book is not getting uploaded without ISBN. So,
Exactly.
and
And
it
then like
has to
the copyright too.
exactly. So you have to know all of those things. I mean, and there are softwares out there that will help you put it together, absolutely.
But to
But do
have one person to be able to handle that all though, and someone you can actually talk to that's a human being and who understands and can put it in the terms that you understand,
exactly.
that's valuable.
That beats everything.
Exactly. So let everybody know where they can go and find your books, and then also, you want them to follow you on social media and all that stuff.
Okay. So, to follow me on social media, my ad is Tina Marie. And for my publishing works, you can find me on Amazon for right now and Apple Books. And of course, you have Rush and Roulette, you have Go Glow, and you have a novel to the Black Man. And be on the lookout for A Death of the Ego, a soft
Definitely.
funeral to the girl I used to be. Be on the lookout for that real soon.
That's what's up. Thank you, Miss Tina Marie.
You're
Y'all make
welcome.
sure y'all go and y'all support, buy these books off of Amazon. Support, 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 support. And if you are an author out there and you need someone to help you with this, you now look at it. You got somebody here. You have a contact who will be able to walk you through the process. And as always, y'all keep following the platform. And I am your host, Andreas.